For the first time, Raw is not at the Manhattan Center, but at the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, which is 3 times bigger and also basically the second hub for Raw early on. This is not even close to as good as the other impersonation he makes, because this one from Bartlett is actually completely unbearable. Yeah, sure, he has the McMannerisms, but that's it, and he's going way too hard. One last thing though, Heenan and Monsoon are always a win. Go check the Rumble video for proof. Dude, Razor gets an actually great pop. People were hot for this show, and they're loud for this opener. Squash match for Razor, but he still does get his best shots in, like the follow-away slam. The confidence on display from Razor is quite nice, and they wanted to give him some time because of the fact Razor gets the match against Backland at Mania. The chokeslam is great from him, actually very impactful, and basically a Uranagi with one hand instead of the arm. Razor was playing more with his bad guy moniker at the time because as a heel, you have a whole lot more freedom. A shame, really. They showed us every impactful move from Razor here. A back superplex and then the Razor's Edge too. Can you believe this is our first Razor's Edge after 10 videos? Now see, this is a useless match. Typhoon in a squash, he's not even at Mania. This is a bra moment because everything should serve to build Mania. We're less than a month from the event, come on. It almost feels like the match was just to give us commentary from Bartlett, but he's actually going to push me to turn the show off. I'm sure there were some people watching live that did just that. It's the first show actually where I want to turn it off because of him.
Well, I guess it's Judy's turn to cry.
This guy was way too involved in the crowd. Like what? Does Typhoon owe you money? Typhoon doesn't stand out and doesn't give this crowd a good amount of excitement too. At least that suplex got them a bit in it, but everyone knew the result. Razor gave them excitement with some good offense. Typhoon needs more impactful moves to get the crowd interested too. Unfortunately, I have kind of reached a point where squash matches are just too much for me now. But you know what? Just get the win for the suplex and the power slam, and let's continue. The splash is good, like actually good. He gets some good air and height at least, and the crowd was still kind of in there. A promo with Gonzalez. God. I thank God for Heenan. He tries his best to make this interesting, but even Whippleman isn't good at this right here. Honestly, one of the weakest managers of the 90s. Still, I thank God for Heenan. Nothing stood out with Gonzalez other than his size. He was pushed incredibly hard only because of that size disparity with everyone else, including The Undertaker. Honestly, just weird in this promo that they made Gonzalez like someone we can understand. Like he spoke pretty normally. Sounds like Wembanyama almost, but more growly. Wow, this revisionism. Hogan pushed harder than the damn WWF champion. Always hanging on to the past. Yeah, Brett was in the promo, but secondary in it, as they say nothing for him. They just say, oh yeah, he's here in the main event too. I really have nothing to say about this show, do I? I mean, the big match of the broadcast is Shango and Backland, and the main event is a tag match with the Head Shrinkers, which are good against the right opponent. We've seen Fatu in the ring against Bret Hart a couple of weeks ago, and that was good, but here they face the Nasty Boys. However, and I still can't believe I will say this, it can always get worse. I cannot focus on the show because of Bartlett on commentary. He is actually a nuisance to the show. I had to go back and watch this muted to at least appreciate the matches a bit. Nice counter from the arm wrench, and there are a good number of counters, with the drop toe hold right after there, and still other counters with the wrist control and other stuff, but you wouldn't know with the commentary because you'd be too distracted. The one dichotomy from this match is the wrestling versus brawling or slugging philosophy. Shango does get the better offense with some impact moves, and there's much better to showcase this dichotomy than this match. Monsoon, you and me both. The match is longer than usual for Raw, always something to point out because the average of a match on Raw is basically around 3 minutes. I've not checked because I don't need to, the squashes take the average so far down. The wrestling this time does win with the small package finish, something that will be increasingly rare as time goes on. One little thing, can you believe that Backland has never participated to a Mania before? Yeah, he left in 1984 before the first Mania, so that would be the first ever WrestleMania he could have even participated in. That's some fun little trivia. Once again, the report takes place, as always, 5 minutes this time, and 1 minute is only for talking about the fact everyone wears a toga. Damn you 1993, you're rough. But there are still some promos for Mania in there, so it does get a win. Silver linings. So, our main event, and I'm not even really going to talk about it. The Nasties are here. This is a brawl with not many impactful moves and a lot of strikes and holds. Not a match you'll ever come back to. This isn't even close to being memorable. The real thing you can say for this one is that this was a brawl, which doesn't happen often this early on. This went outside, it went to a double count out too, and that's a thing I guess going for it. Really, those would be very common in a few years, but at that point, if you saw one every trimester, that was something. It's not very interesting, but I guess it's another fact. The last chair shot to the back of the head, right before talking about charity work by the WWF, that's actually really funny. The World Wrestling Federation, we give back to the people that watch us give CTE to each other. And that was basically the last thing on the show. Once again, not the worst, but this time, the commentary absolutely killed it for me. When it was Heenan and Monsoon talking, it was fine, but every time Bartlett over-exaggerated Vince's sayings, I was just checked out mentally of the action happening in the ring. Because of that, the grade will not be generous at all, but I did enjoy seeing Scott Hall on screen, and a couple of longer matches is at least something too. The hype for Mania 9 was lackluster. I did not enjoy this as the second to last Raw before Mania. No appearance from any champion except in the reports, and next week won't be much better too. This show gets a 2.5 out of 10. Here's the new way I will show you the ratings now. Hopefully you'll enjoy this revamped standing system. And next week, we barely have an episode of Raw. It's 38 minutes long with 4 bad matches and no standout promos. Seriously, this one will be rough. But because of that, I also want to try something different. I will shoot a second video for next week that will release on Wednesday, right on time for Christmas. More info next week. I hope to see you guys next week for that, and once again, thanks for the support on the channel. I didn't expect to get as much as I got in less than 3 months of doing this. Reaching the symbolic first milestone for me of 50 subscribers is something I didn't think would happen before at least the new year, so thank you guys. And see you next week, final week before Mania. Let's go.